She has the same last name, the same coaches, the same rink, the same early morning alarms, the same blisters from boots broken in too soon.
But almost nobody outside that rink in Virginia knew her name until her brother said one sentence on camera that changed everything. For years, the world watched one Malinina. The jumps, the records, the boy who landed what no one else on earth could land. But quietly, 10 years behind him, a girl was lacing up skates of her own, and what she was doing on that ice was about to surprise even him. This is the story they didn't put in the headlines, not at first. Her name is Elli Beatrice Malinina. Most people call her Liza. She was born in 2014 into a family that had already given American figure skating one miracle. Her mother, Tatiana Malinina, skated for Uzbekistan at 2 Olympic Games. Her father, Roman Skorniakov, did the same, 7 times national champion in his own right. And her older brother was already being called something else entirely by them, Quad God. You'd think growing up under that shadow would be a gift. Sometimes it is. But ask anyone who's grown up the sibling of a prodigy, and they'll tell you, it can also feel like trying to skate on ice that's already been carved by someone else's blades. Here's the part almost no one talks about. Her parents didn't want this for either of their kids. 2-time Olympians, 2-time grinders through injuries and judging politics and the brutal economics of a sport that chews up childhoods. They'd lived it. They told themselves, not again. No more skating in this family. Quiet, almost wry. But then something happened. A rink. A kid who wouldn't stay off the ice. First it was Ilia. Then years later it was his little sister watching him from the boards before she could even tie her own laces. So the question becomes, what is it actually like being the second Malinina to chase greatness on the same sheet of ice? In one interview, Ilia said something that stopped people cold. Asked about his sister, he didn't talk about pressure or legacy. He said she was already better than him at her age. Not good, not promising, better than him. The boy who landed a quadruple axel, a jump no other human being has completed in competition, looked at a 9-year-old and said she was ahead of where he'd been. That's not a brotherly compliment, that's a data point, and it raises a far stranger question than anyone expected. What happens when the family that already broke figure skating once does it again? But here's the part that complicates the fairy tale. Mentorship in a family like this isn't simple. Ilia has said plainly that when he tries to coach her, give her notes, share what he's learned the hard way, she doesn't always want to hear it. Not from coaches, not even from him. Which makes sense if you think about it. Imagine your older sibling is the most famous athlete in your entire sport. Now imagine he's also trying to tell you how to do your job. She's still early, nationally ranked in the juvenile and intermediate ranks, dozens of competitions already on her record by her early teens, training at the same Washington figure skating club where her brother first found his footing, under coaches who happened to be her own parents. No Olympic medals yet, no world records, not the headlines her brother commands. But here's the layer almost no one's connecting. This is exactly how every dynasty starts, quietly, in a cold building before sunrise, with a kid nobody's watching yet, except the one person who landed the impossible jump and is now watching his little sister get ready to try. So here's where the mystery resolves. She isn't trying to become her brother. She's trying to become herself, on the same ice, carrying the same name, under the weight of a legacy she didn't ask for and can't escape. And by her brother's own account, she might be doing it better than he did. The Malinina name was already written into figure skating history once. The next chapter might not be written by the Quad God at all. So if the next great American skater is already training in that rink right now, 10 years younger than the one we already know, what do you think she'll be remembered for?
Let's talk about what nationally ranked actually means at her level. Because numbers like that get thrown around so casually, people forget what's underneath them. By her early teens, Liza had already skated in well over a dozen sanctioned competitions, juvenile, intermediate, climbing one division at a time, the slow way, the way nobody puts in a highlight reel. No quad axel moment, no Guinness record, just Tuesday mornings, Thursday evenings, falling on the same jump 50 times until the 51st one holds. And here's something most people watching her brother's highlight reels never stop to consider. She trains under the exact same coaching philosophy that built a quad god. Her parents aren't hobbyist rink parents standing behind glass with a thermos. They are two Olympians who built every jump Ilia ever landed, technique by technique, from the time he was 6 years old. When Liza steps onto that ice, she isn't getting generic instruction. She's getting the same blueprint. Which makes you wonder, is that an advantage or is that the heaviest weight a young athlete could possibly carry? 10 years separate her from her brother. 10 years means she wasn't watching him train as an equal. She was watching him as a legend before she even understood what a quadruple jump was. Some psychosocial psychologists would tell you that's the hardest position in any prodigy family. Not the firstborn who blazes the trail, but the one who arrives after the trail is already a highway. Every fall she has on that ice happens in a building where her brother's name is still spoken like scripture. But here's where it gets interesting. Coaches who've watched young skaters for decades say something counterintuitive happens in families like this. The pressure that should crush a kid sometimes becomes fuel instead, because she isn't chasing a stranger's record. She's chasing someone who eats breakfast at the same table. And by her brother's own account, remember that one sentence. She's not just keeping pace. She might be ahead of where the schedule says she should be. So now picture the next 2, 3, 4 years. Juvenile becomes intermediate. Intermediate becomes novice. Novice becomes junior national level, the exact level her brother stood at right before the world started paying attention to him. If the pattern holds, if the same coaches, the same ice, the same bloodline produce anything close to what they produced once already, the next time you hear the name Malinina, it might not be a footnote in her brother's story anymore. It might be the headline.